My name is Tana Rose, and today I will be talking about my research creating opera utilising augmented reality and virtual reality technologies. I have created the following self-experiential prototyping models during my research project. This research project seeks to innovate opera by utilising novel technologies to create new opera experiences. The research outcomes include 3 iterations of the opera ARTEMIS. The first is created in Unity 3D for viewing in the Oculus Quest headset. The second is created using TiltBrush in conjunction with Adobe Premiere Pro and is deployed via YouTubeVR. The third version of the opera is a live augmented reality version. Self-experiential prototyping is employed to create the compositions and immersive environments for each version of the opera. The research project employs a mixed methods approach, practice-based research, and autoethnography methodology is used. Self-experiential prototyping of the virtual reality opera ARTEMIS and augmented reality opera ARTEMIS is conducted to collect new data to contribute to this emerging field. Remote extended reality productions are becoming increasingly sought after. This project explores the operatic form in this context due to increasing technological advancements and the need for opera to reach a new, diverse audience. This work is important, as no research has been conducted comparing augmented reality and virtual reality opera production creation. This new approach is self-experiential, promoting learning. The composition folio is delivered as a series of videos, including a live augmented reality opera performance video, the UQ Live Bloom Festival Light and Sound Display 2020 footage, and 6 YouTubeVR music videos. This research is needed as it aims to innovate opera utilising extended reality, henceforth XR, by comparing 3 versions of an originally produced and composed opera in different mediums. It is a 3-pronged exploration of the Unity 3D virtual reality opera, 360-degree YouTubeVR opera, and augmented reality opera ARTEMIS. No research has been conducted looking at self-experiential prototyping processes, and this research will fulfill this knowledge gap by documenting the prototyping of a new extended reality opera in this context. People are making more and more virtual operas. Opera's engagement with technology is increasing, and there is an emerging interest from the operatic industry for virtual reality and immersive experience creation. The recommendations put forth in the National Opera Review 2016 in Australia highlight the current opera climate, namely subsection 7.4, support the presentation of innovative works in collaboration with festivals, page 54, and subsection 7.5, increase the use of digital technology for innovation. The digital staging of opera works is increasing, with the ring cycle production being made up of entirely virtual stages, which are easier to tour. Thus, opera is changing, and this highlights why this work, my work, is vital at this time. Augmented reality or virtual reality have been utilised by opera companies to engage new audiences and attract younger audiences by reimagining old works. Examples of these are the Magic Butterfly virtual reality production by the Welsh National Opera, English National Opera's Magic Face app, Welsh National Opera's A Little Vixen AR Tunnel, and Opera Queensland's AR The Magic Flute. Opera companies are also creating new works, such as Whitesnake Project's virtual video game opera Permadeath, which combines the sound world of video games and opera. The staged mixed reality techno opera Maya and Tapestry Opera's Tap X are more examples. However, to date there has not been a self-experiential study of the prototyping process in extended reality opera creation, and thereby this is where I situate my research. In order understand this problem more clearly, the study seeks to answer the following questions. Research question 1. How can self-experiential prototyping methodologies be used to create new opera experiences? Research question 2. What can be learnt by comparing 3 processes of AR and VR opera creation? Ultimately, what is the relationship between opera and extended reality? Practice-based research is used for realising my creative portfolio and crafting the compositions throughout my PhD. It is important to note that practice-based research is very similar to interactive prototyping methodology, and this comparison is explored. The use of extended reality XR technologies could create new engaging narratives for different opera goers. The chosen research models are best suited to answer the research questions as they test this hypothesis. By fusing digital architecture, composition, and extended reality, as a composer, I am undertaking a creative process and investigative process, which is documented so others can use it to learn to create new opera for a digital future. User experience design for VR opera should be human-centered, comfortable experiences. Comfortable experiences for audience members entail safety and increased enjoyability in the experience, so that audience members do not feel like they will crash into furniture in the real world whilst in the VR experience. By employing self-testing prototypes, the user experience is enhanced and refined through multiple self-experiential prototyping stages. Thus, novel ways of approaching user experience design are explored through the lens of user experience prototyping. The act of being surrounded by the composition in the virtual reality prototype tests the emotional impact during interaction and draws upon Don Norman's 2013 statement that emotion and cognition are inherently interwoven. Benyon, 2013, states that the framework for designing interactive systems is PACT. The P stands for people, the A, impact, stands for activities, the C, impact, stands for contexts, and the T stands for technologies. Designing a virtual reality interactive experience involves drawing upon HCI, human-computer interaction, and interaction research. User experience is an interaction between a computer and a human. Norman states that affordances are not to be confused with signifiers when prototyping an experience. Affordances are how people interact with the environment, and signifiers communicate how to use something. These may be words or graphical design. Thus, signifiers signal what to do. Communication is the key to good design, and signifiers help communication. Sound is key to creating effective virtual reality interactive experiences. Sound can aid immersion and add presence, as sound is a diegetic presence builder. Sound is a navigation aid, sound adds believability, and sound can induce a mood. I created 4 spatialized 3D audio sources in Unity 3D, which attach to each of the 4 Greek-based assets. I also experimented with utilising the Fmod Studio event emitters in conjunction with Unity 3D. I prototyped using the Fmod software 3D Objects Spatializer. Whilst the user physically walks around the virtual environment in the virtual reality headset, different pieces from the opera play reacting to the distance of the user to each phase. I recorded each aria and duet in the UQ Nixon Room Performance Hall and edited them in Ableton Live 9. Here is an audio implementation video demonstration. Seems that we don't have internet, so you can check those out on my YouTube channel, Tom Rose Music, at a later date. The light and sound design architect Xenakis implemented his scores and mathematical formulae visualizations to create architectural structures. I drew upon Xenakis' light and sound architecture techniques to develop the VR opera by fusing visual and sonic elements to create an opera set in ancient Greece. Here are more examples which you can have a look at on Tamara's music. Thank you for your time.
Any questions?
Can the supervisor ask a question? Tara, one of the things that I think is really exciting about watching you grow through your PhD has been how much your practice has changed through all of this experimentation and investigation. Can you describe those changes for people, like where your work started and where it's grown to?
Sure, so I've refined my scope quite a bit. At the beginning of my PhD journey, I was going to do a user experience study. However, that has been narrowed down to focus on the creative practice so that computer scientists can take this work and perform that user experience study themselves. Also, I began with a qualitative, quantitative, autoethnography, mixed methods, basically methodology, and that has been refined now to be a self-experiential prototyping methodology alongside autoethnography. So at the core of it, my practice has become more practice-based, and self-prototyping is basically at the core of it, whereas before it was more about interviewing, semi-structured interviews, and qualitative surveys, which has been refined down as the scope of the study has changed in the second year. So I've basically taken on feedback from my reviewers and supervisors on how I can mold this and narrow the scope. Yeah.
I was actually thinking more about your artistic journey,
Okay.
your recent journey so much. Is that okay if I prod you a little bit more in that direction? So, you still work very formally with music scores and doing fully orchestrated works, but you also do so much more because you've moved down this pathway of programming and world building. And it's really exciting to see that come together. So in a similar way to what Jo was trying to articulate, to a change in her kind of creative or artistic identity, are you able to do that?
Sure. So basically at the beginning of my journey, I learned Unity and world building, which has been really beneficial. And on top of that, I've also learned how to paint in VR, basically, utilising TiltBrush and also importing that into Adobe Premiere Pro to create virtual reality music videos, which I've uploaded onto YouTube. So you can basically watch these on this internet, and you can actually move the mouse around and it moves you around in the 3D space on your desktop computer, or if you have a virtual reality headset, you can actually view the 360-degree videos and be fully immersed. So at the beginning of my journey, I also was focusing purely on Unity and coding, which I did learn, and now I'm also adding to that by utilising TiltBrush and comparing that process of creation with the live version of ARTEMIS, which is an augmented reality version, which is a 20-minute opera where you sit down and you watch it and you have a smartphone. So basically that will be premiered next year at Wonderfest on the closing night of the Volume Festival at UQ. Yes, Rob?
I was wondering, are you going to be doing 3D and sonic audio recordings as part of the...
Yes, so the next step in the process is on the 15th of December, I'm getting the musicians into the mixing room, and I've got binaural headphone microphones, which I will connect to the Zoom recorder, the H4n from here, and do binaural recording so that you're fully immersed in the 360-degree space as well. Yes.
How did you think about linear time in a genre like opera when with VR or AR you're participating sort of and controlling the
Sure.
yeah.
So basically for the augmented reality opera, it's a linear opera. You sit down and you watch each movement, so there's 4 movements. And in the virtual reality opera, it's a little bit more fluid. So it's non-linear in the sense of time, that you can actually spend more time listening to one aria than the next. So you walk towards the vase assets in the Greek world, and you will hear one aria more predominantly if you stand somewhere and you simply are more interested in engaging that for a long time.
So did that affect how you sort of think about the structure then? Because potentially someone sees one aria and then leaves the experience or something like that. So
Sure.
how does that work in terms of the overall story or what you're trying to portray?
Sure, so basically it is non-linear, and I'm drawing upon non-linear mediums such as video games, which actually are very transitory. I mean, you can go somewhere and it's a non-linear experience. So I'm drawing upon that in my context review. I've analysed video game scores and looked at literature for that.
Cool.
Great, thank you so much.